Welcome back, my friends. It's Melanie with melaniesmithstamps, and today I have got the new release from these Spellbinders Club Kits. Yes, the reveal that a lot of you wait for. So I'm here at midnight, as always, and I've got the entire kit this month. I'm so excited. We have the wax seal on time. We have been getting our wax seals late. This is mainly just the Spellbinders team that have been getting them late for quite a while now. So we haven't had a chance to get them in our videos. And I got it on time. I'm so excited. I think we're going to play with it in this video because I'm so excited. But look at here. Check it out. It is an owl. Isn't that super, super cool? So these are the wax beads I was sent with it. This is the basic must-have wax bead mix with your black, your silver, your gold, and your white. So awesome mix to have. Perfect all year round. So I am going to definitely try to do that here in this video for you. Now, I've got the small and the large die set here. We have a totally fall theme for us with lots of things to use both as focals and for backgrounds. And so for our small die of the month, we have, it is called, let me pull it out here and tell you what it's called. It is called Harvest Magic. And we have a cute little pumpkin right here. We have some little tops for him, so you have different options for the top. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Kitty Cat has a pumpkin top too. And I think one of these possibly fits on top of there or under that so that he can have a swirly up here too, a stem underneath that pumpkin top. So he can have a little pumpkin hat. And then this one here can go up here like so. I'm not bringing it up close enough to you. I'm sorry. So this one here fits on top of your pumpkin right there. And then this one fits on top of the kitty right here. So he can have a pumpkin. There's the top piece of the die. It goes on top right there. So sorry about that. Then we have some flowers and we have some other foliage with little buds on them. We have some other leaf foliage. We have a cool ghost and skeleton. And then we have some of the background pieces, which I love when they give those to us. So lots of fun things. Let's look at the picture here on the back. They've made a little scene. This background here is the Better Press plate that's right here that they've used. It makes it kind of hard to see the way they've done it here with the colors, but I think this background could totally be used year-round, the Better Press one, because it reminds me of a quilt block, like quilting. You could use stitching on that. You could use it for honeybees in the springtime. I mean, this one I think is really versatile this month. It's called Sketchy Hexy, but I just see so many options for this Better Press plate this month. So you also get the This Is Me Thanking You and Sending Autumn Cheer as sentiments. So you get both of those, and then you get the Hexy die to be able to cut out any of these you want to. So it gives you tons of versatility on the Better Press. So if you're not crazy into actual fall products and you're looking for one possibly to get this month, I'm thinking this might be the one. This or an embossing folder. But I'm liking this one because I'm seeing me use this one in the springtime for the bumblebees. I can see myself using this with sewing items for the quilting, like with your stitching and your threads and stuff like that. I just see lots of options here, not fall per se. So that is my 2 cents on the Better Press and small die. I really do like the kitty cat though. You know, he's not a scary kitty cat. He's a sweet kitty cat. So I like that. It's not spooky. So let's move on to the large die of the month, because this one has a whole lot in it. Let me grab him. Oh, I have him double bagged here. This one here makes an entire scene. We have an acorn house, which is way cool. It shows it right here. You have the acorn house. Isn't that neat? And can you think of other things you have that could actually go along with the acorn house? Any kind of critter stamps. Think of like your lawn fawn stuff. Things like that. Any type of items from other brands that have different little critters in them would look so adorable with this critter background. I just love mixing and matching. So I just see a whole bunch of different scenes here with this little guy. And he's actually not that little, if you think about it. Here he is, and he's the size of my palm. So it's pretty decent size for a little house for the center of a scene. So I kind of like that, and I love the way they've done the top there for the detail. And it does have a background as well, so you'll have the multi-layer of color. And then it's got all the detail dies of your door. It's got your ground here. Then you have a happy die, and you've got tons of foliage, really nice larger foliage. You've got this really pretty flower, and there's the center for it. Then you have these fun 2 sizes of acorns, and here are the little tops to them, right there next to your flower center. Then you have some windows for your house. And I mean, the foliage just goes on and on and on. Look at these gorgeous leaves. This set to me is worth it just for the leaves. Look at all the difference in the detail in those leaves. I love this one. I love that. Is that the oak leaf? I'm not sure. Is that an oak leaf? That might be the oak leaf. Let me know down in the comments if that's the oak leaf, because when I was a little girl, we had big oak leaves in our cabin, in North Carolina, and I always had the little acorns all over the place underneath the oak tree. But I think that's an oak leaf. Yeah. So like all of those. And then here again, you have some of your background dies. So lots of stuff here to play with. Then you have 2 sentiments here also. Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, and fall from all of us. So happy fall from all of us. So those are 2 layer sentiments where you use them together like that. Very cool. So I like this one this month. I do. All right, let me slide this back in here. I put it in this extra sleeve just to make sure I don't lose any of those dies, because I've kind of loaded this magnet up. So I fill that in, and then I just slide it down into this bigger package. All of my packaging is always available in the links down below. If you scroll down in my description down below, you'll always find my affiliate links, and the very first one is Amazon. My packaging, I have so many questions about it that people send me questions, and they ask me where I get all my packaging. Because I go really affordable by getting these on Amazon, and they're a lot cheaper than going other routes. So I buy them in bulk because I have so many stamp sets, but all the links are over in my Amazon shop. Okay, so put this one aside. Then we have the Glimmer of the Month here. Very cool background. Here again, you could use this any time of month or any time of year. You have Boo to You, Sweet, does that say soul? Yeah, Boo to You, Sweet Soul, it looks like. Let me see. Is that what it says? I think that's what it says. And Stay Cozy and Spooky. So, of course, the sentiments are not year-round, but the background could be totally year-round with that plaid type of feel to it. The foil they sent me here is copper. So that's a nice color for fall. This here, I'm quite interested in this one. I want to see if I can find the time to make 2 cards with this. One fall and one not fall. Because this is stitched pumpkin tops. These are supposed to be pumpkins. And they're really cool because this is the top view from the pumpkin looking down. And you're going to have all your stitching coming this way. All of your outside holes into your center hole. All the way around the scallop. And then you'll start again going from this scallop in, like that, all the way around. So pretty easy stitching, but it's going to be so pretty. And then they have the stems here. So you'll be able to put the stem here and have it like curly on the top of each of them, which is going to be a totally different look for fall, is having those pumpkins or gourds, however you want to call them. And then you have some fall leaves. But I'm looking at this and I immediately thought flowers. I'm not sure if that's what they put it here for, but I'm seeing big flowers. So I'm thinking pink, purple, yellow, bright colored flowers. And then maybe coming back into the large die and grabbing a foliage leaf or 2 from this set and mixing and matching them with these foliage pieces, maybe this one right here even, and having the foliage with the flowers. It's the right size, and you even could probably bring these in for some smaller flowers if you wanted to. Totally mixing it up, and that's my kind of card. I like to use things outside the box. These are pumpkin tops. Do they have to be pumpkin tops? Not necessarily. Let me know what you think down below. I would love to hear your input on that idea. Okay, so onward. Here is Autumn Whim. This is the stamp and die of the month. And this stamp is a half background. Make sure you can see this here. So you stamp this twice in your MISTI and you'll have a whole background. Then you have all of these sentiments as well. And remember, all of this has dies. Matter of fact, they're all individual dies. So you can use these individually on your decorations. Like just right around your sentiment. And you can make a focal on your card. You can mix and match these with the other foliage dies and have one colored, like with your Copics or your color pencils. Then you can have a solid behind it with one of your other dies from your other sets. So you can totally mix and match these. There's one other cool thing about it though that I'm going to show you in just a second, but let me read these first. Your sentiments read, a little fall charm just for you. Have a charmed Halloween. That made my day, thanks. Hope your night glows with magic. I like that one. Hope this season wraps you in comfort. May your fall be full of quiet wonder. Ooh, I like that one. That's sweet. Okay, so one neat thing about this is your deluxe caboodle. If you get the deluxe caboodle, your freebie of the month is this extra stencil. It's the Autumn Whim stencil. And it's 2 stencils broken up into 4 areas. And what this is going to do is, this is number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So you're going to stencil this with this. So I have not done it yet to see what it looks like, but I did check it and it does line up like so. So you're going to be able to color your background stamp with your stencil with your freebie of the month for deluxe caboodle members. Now, if you're new to Spellbinders and you're not familiar with our club's deluxe caboodle members, are members that purchase all 10 clubs in the month at one discounted price. You get, I believe it's, matter of fact, it was more than the discount I told you guys last month. When I looked it up, it was actually more. It was, I think, 50 something percent, but I'm going to write it down below. Where the link is down below, I will put the discount down there with the link down below, just so I don't tell you wrong, because last month I told you way low. It was actually more of a discount than that when I went to look. So if you're loving fall and you're thinking you want 3-4 of these items, check the prices, because you might be able to get the whole deluxe caboodle for the same price as like 4 of these sets. So make sure you check, because you might be missing out on all 10 items if you don't check the deluxe caboodle price. So this is a freebie though that only comes with the deluxe caboodle, and then you get that extra, the extra stencil that lines up with, and I've got that backwards, lines up with your stamps just like that. Okay, so I can't wait to stencil that out. You guys know I love my stencils. So I'm going to sit that one aside. I love that they give us all those dies. So now the stencil of the month is it 5? I was going to say 4. It's 5 layers. Check it out. So that wasn't an oak leaf, was it? I might have been wrong. I think I was wrong, because this is the oak leaf. So I was wrong. There's our oak leaf. Totally wrong. I corrected myself. Yay! But here's our oak leaf and our adorable acorn. So I thought this was really pretty. So I'm looking forward to doing this one. I might change up the colors a little bit, but even just like this, it's gorgeous. So I like fall colors. You know, and I'm glad it only comes around once a year, because I do get bored of them after a while, but I love just diving into them right at first. So this is your stencil of the month. Now this is your embossing folder of the month, and I don't know if you can see it really well. Let me grab my blue paper from last month. There we go. It is a whole bunch of different foliage. And this has all of those different leaves in it. And it's really an artistic look. It's called Autumn Breeze, but it even has the little berries floating through the air. I really thought it was pretty the way they designed that one. The artist is really talented, whoever he or she may be. So that is a winner in my book. And then the last one is the 3D embossing folder. And it kind of goes along with that whole quilty idea that I told you about with the Better Press, except these are squares instead of hexagons. So this totally gives you kind of a picnicky feel and could totally be used year-round as well. So that would be your other option. That would be to keep you as a club member and keep your discount if you're not huge to fall products. This would be another option for you that could keep you a club member this month. Now, if you're not familiar with changing your clubs around and everything, that is an option for you any month. There's no penalty for that or anything. My Lola is talking to me and Lucky is playing with his toys, so please forgive us. But changing your clubs is really simple. You just want to make sure you cancel your clubs after you add the new ones, and you want to make those changes before the 4th of the month. That is really important because they will bill your previous clubs on the 5th. All right, guys, well, it is time to clear the desk and start playing. So let's go. All right, the first thing we're going to do is play with this wax seal. I haven't got to play with wax seals in a little while, so we're going to open up this pack that they sent me, and I thought the first thing we would do is make a black wax seal. I don't think I've ever made a totally black one, and I thought with the owl that black and maybe gold would be really pretty. So I got the gold Deco Art pen out, And we're going to go ahead and do a completely black owl and then see what it will look like. Now I'm morphing the melting process, so it's going to go a little faster than normal in between the melts, just so we can speed up the process in the video. I'm trying to save your time and so that I can show you even more crafting in the video. So I hope that is okay with all of you. Now as I pour this is an oval, so I start my pour and I drag it just a little bit, and then I come back to center where I started, and I noticed the top was a little bit bigger than the bottom, so I added those last little drips at the bottom, and that helped shape it more evenly. So I just set that down, and when I put my seal down into my wax, I lower it slowly. That's a top tip. Don't push it. Actually lower it into the wax. And that actually helps you shape the wax as you lower the actual stamp into it. That helps you just get a nice rim around it as you lower. And there we go. Another thing to give you a tip is to, and I didn't do this in this instance, but especially when you're going to write on them, like with the marker, is to get one of the ice packs that you can refreeze from like the picnic section of your Walmart or maybe a Dollar Tree, and get one of those that refreezes each time and put it up on your desk and sit your actual stamp on top of it so that the brass part of your stamp gets chilled. And when it does that and it hits the wax as you lower, it makes a crisper, more defined image. And by doing that, a lot of times when you're coloring it, you have a more raised image and it's easier to color. So that's just another top tip there for you. Now here I'm going to just drop my excess wax here onto my mat, and this is going to make little enamel dots that I can use if I decide to when I'm crafting. I don't remember, I don't think I used them this time, but I was just showing you the process. So here is my black and gold, just showing you the bottom there as I'm letting it cool. And you know, once they firm up just a little bit, you can just pry them off. And this one also turned out very nicely. Pretty even too. I was really happy with those two. Now the third one, I'm getting out my fall mix. It is a mixture I had in my stash. I don't remember the actual name of it. I will put it at the bottom of the screen here. But it is filled with red, blue, gold, green. Really pretty mix here. There it is right there. And we're going to go ahead and use that must-have mix and sprinkle it out here. And I'm going to choose some colors that I know are going to be in my leaves that I'll be working with. So I've got a red, gold, and a little green there, with emphasis on the gold. So I had a couple extra golds in there. Melted that down with the help of morphing and pour. This one is a little uneven, but it's not too bad. It's very usable. But I was probably at this point ready to get done so I could move on because I wanted to show you as much as I could. And I'm going to make a little bit of those enamel dots with this mixture as well while that cools. I love doing these. They're so relaxing, and I feel like, especially if it's a mix, I'm not wasting the wax. Because you can always, if it's this one solid color, you can always just pour it out onto your table, let it harden, and add it back to your bag of beads and remelt it next time. The same thing goes if you are actually, mess up a solid. Like if I had messed up that black one, I could have easily just cut it up, put it back in the spoon, and remelted it down. Super easy. But, those are some tips you might not know when you are just starting out. So I'm just going to rub this marker gently over the top of the actual owl image, and it will color just the owl and not the background. Or that is what we are hoping. Most of the time it works. Sometimes we get a little bit out onto the background. That one came out perfectly. And it's funny because the one that doesn't come out perfectly is the one I end up using in my project. But you never know. You never know. I'll show you why I use it here in a little bit. But I go ahead and ink up all 3 of them. And I hope you guys like this little tutorial in the actual video, this demo. I like that one. That one's cool. Now this one I actually get onto the background a little bit. I probably was rushing and I just went with it. I just added a little bit to the background on the other side of the wings and it just makes him a fluffier owl. And no one would be the wiser. Wise. Little pun there. But yeah, one side got onto the background, so I just added a little bit to the other side, made him even on both sides, and now he is a puffy owl. Look at my cute puffy owl. And he is the one we use. I really liked him. So he looks a little different, so feel free to add a little extra to yours as well. Now we're going to do a bunch of glimmering. Yes, I'm doing demos in this video, but we are making too. So do make sure you stay till the end because we got multiple cards we're making today. This is a long one, but it's a good one. So I'm waiting for the lights to finish flickering and I pull out my base plate before I layer my foil sandwich. And I am morphing this as well to speed up the process, but it takes about 60 seconds for that blinking light to stop. That one we're going to be using on our very first card with the owl. That background is some of the Treasury cardstock in black. And then that is the copper foil that we received in our club. So I'm reheating this now, the blinking light's going, and I have to wait till that goes solid until we can actually play again. So I've got a second foil sheet here of the copper, and we're going to do this on a cream colored sheet of paper. These are all the color wheel cardstocks that I'm using here. I'm not using the proper names, except for that first one. That first one was a treasured cardstock by Spellbinders. So this one here is the ivory color, but look, I have a little extra foiling there. So I'm going to take some Best Ever Craft tape, and what I didn't do here that I should have, and it did take a little too much foil off, is take that tape and put it up against your shirt, your t-shirt, or your jeans or something a couple times and just get a little extra of the sticky off. When you do that, you won't pull too much of the foil off. It'll just get your extra foiling. It took a little extra of mine off, but not enough to really notice in the final project. Now that one there, I love that. That was rose gold on top of a coral color. Really, really love that one. Now we're going to change over to the Better Press plate and we're going to hot foil this one as well. This one I just love. I told you that earlier in the video. I love this. It is so amazing. And on this dark red, it's really, really pretty. But we do this a few times. And this one is going to be my favorite card of the batch. This one will be my favorite at the end. So just wait and see what this one turns out to be. It is my favorite. But that's not the only one we're doing with this hot plate. We are also foiling this 3 different times for this card that's going to be pink. We're going to do 3 panels in one card. So we've got a dark pink on a darker pink. We have a medium pink on the lighter pink. Then we're going to reverse foil. So we're going to change the plate to this solid background plate by Pink Fresh Studios. And we're going to reverse foil the gold onto our treasured mirror gold, or I'm sorry, the treasured, which gold is this? This is the, it's the same as the foil. I'm going to think of it. It's not the shiny one, it's the other one. But any of the shiny golds will work. But this is the matte gold. So I used the matte foil and the matte gold treasured cardstock together. And look at that beautiful foiling. No foil left on that sheet. That was a perfect foil. So remember your specialty cardstocks when you're reversing. When you use specialty cardstocks, they foil perfect every time. Now that one right there was the actual Spellbinders specialty card that I reversed that one on. So those 3 pinks are going to be all one card. Those 2 there are the first one and the second reverse. And then we made those 3 as well. Look at all of those backgrounds we made. Now here's our first card. We're going to jump into the making now. So I've already done my layers cut to save time again. So we're going to layer this background with a piece of bronze colored paper, specialty paper. I believe that one is from Altenew. And now we're going to ink up our foliage. I just cut these from different fall colored papers and chose some inks that were just a little bit darker than my paper colors. So just use your scraps for these. You know, anytime you use your dyes like this, just pull scraps if you have them. And then add ink colors. I always say go with a little lighter color when you're wanting to ink blend. Go with a little lighter color of cardstock than you want, so you can have different definitions in them. But look how pretty just adding one extra little color of ink can be. It really steps them up. And just wait until I add this last color here. Not last, but this third color. And I put them over there on the black cardstock. Watch them pop. It is just amazing. I'm going to add just a little bit of that dark red over here too. I am in love with these colors. This is why I like fall right here. I'm just adding a little extra. You don't have to, but you can. You know, I added a little yellow, add a little orange, but you can do just one color if you want to. There's no rules, guys. There's no rules. 1 color, 2 colors. I was just playing. But I do have a different brush for each color. And I do that so I don't, you know, cross-contaminate everything. But it's just the way I do things. But look at those colors, guys. So pretty. So, so pretty. I'm just going to use the 1 color here for these leaves on the greens. And these little tiny leaves, I'm just going to use as accents in here. When we add our big leaves down, we'll just use these as fillers. And then we're going to do the 1 large leaf. And I'm just going to use this green on this too and just see if it shows up. It might not, but it does a little bit. It ends up staining it a little bit just to give it a 2-tone. And then on the purple one, I decided to just go in with the darkest, the one I used on the red leaf. And it just here again darkens the center of it up a little bit. Now, this sentiment came from the Stamp and Die of the month. So that's what I used for that one. And then I'm just kind of organizing these and gluing these down in a place of little array for our focal of our pretty, pretty colors. And I think it makes for a nice focal background for our wax seal. Don't you? I think our wax seal will be really nice right there in the center. We'll have to figure out which one we want to use, but I think I've already hinted to which one I choose. But I did play around. I like 2 of them really a lot, but I chose my favorite. Yes. But some of you will probably like the other one, I think. But you guys can let me know in the comments. I hope you guys leave me comments, likes, and shares. And of course, if you're visiting for the first time, I hope you will subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can come and see me more often during the month. I do have crafty videos weekly, and I love sharing with you and crafting life together. So there is the black one, there's that one, and there is that one. So we've got 3 choices. My 2 favorites were the multicolor and the soul black. So these are the 2 I was really deciding upon. I will bring them closer so you can see them better. This was the multi. Really looked good there. And then the black. And I stuck with the black one. I was really liking my fluffy owl, guys. My fluffy owl. But all 3 of them would have looked fine on there. The black and gold, the black, or the multicolor. All 3 would look good. So when I put my wax seals on, I really doused them on the back with a lot of my liquid glue. So this is Nuvo that I'm using here, but Barely Art or Art Glitter Glue, all three of those I recommend. I've used all three. I love all three. So those are the three top glues that I would say to use on this type of project. There are also stickers that you can use. I haven't used them very much. I've used them a little bit, but I trust the glue, so that's why I use the glue. So here, extra, I wanted to show you my craft stacks. I just got the inner liners to the craft stacks. So the medium trays are what I use the most, and now they make magnetic platforms or magnetic inserts for them. And I just ordered these. I've got them in this large size as well. And the large size, I've shown you before, the larger craft stack also has the mat that fits inside it for the all-in-one tool. So I've showed you that in a previous video, but I just wanted to show you, I love these magnetic inserts because I am one that I lose my dies all the time. Don't ask me how many magnetic things I have around my room because I have a lot. But now these trays I use anyways with my crafting. I was already using them to hold my die cuts. Now they have the magnetic tray in them, so they're already on my desk anyways. So here we go. I've got a magnetic tray on my desk that can hold both. And the lid holds stuff too. So here is my second card using that same background, this time with leaves. And this is where this Coral Bliss came in that I had on my desk. I used it for these leaves that I also inked the same way. But this was the rose gold, and I have rose gold paper behind it, also by Altenew. And so here are my two cards using that one background. So you get to see that background done twice. And that's kind of the mojo for this video. You're going to get to see things done twice. So speaking of twice, here is our card that we're using 3 glimmered pages for, the 3 glimmers that you saw us do in pink. That one there I glued on is the reverse. This one here we're doing is the reverse. We're gluing the reverse and the dark pink onto the white or the light pink background to create ourselves this multicolored hexagon background. Kind of wanting it to look like a quilt. That's why I kind of made it sporadic around the background. It also makes for just an easy background, but it has more interest than it just being solid. I saw them use it as the sample in the Halloween cat image, you know, on the back of the package, and to me it was plain. I wanted to jazz it up and show you guys how interesting this background can actually be and how many uses it can have. This is not Halloween, guys. This is like a quilty, friendship, fun background. Now, I didn't foil it all the way to the edge, so I'm going to trim it there. Just going to trim it down and add a border, which I like to do anyways. So I'm trimming it down, and I'll add the darker pink cardstock background, and then a stitching sentiment, which I thought would go great with all of these decorative stitches in the actual hexagons. I thought that would make for a cute card for anybody. So we're going to use this Hello die by Spellbinders that I've had in my stash for quite a while. And I will stitch it up off screen because I did stitch it in a foil stitch so that it would, or foil thread, so that it would coordinate. And I did not want to take the time to show that stitching here on camera because it does take quite a while. But there it is, all finished and popped up, and check it out. Isn't that fun? Now you can see the second card created with that in the top left-hand corner. You'll see it in full view at the end of the video. But here is an important little demo of how to build this squirrel. This was a little difficult, so I wanted to show it to you up close, which is something that's very important to me in my videos. This little piece here goes behind the actual nose, half of the eye, and the ear. And it took me a little bit to figure it out, so I thought I would show it. Now there is a gear icon on YouTube that you can click on and slow me down on there. You can slow me to half speed. You can slow me however. So while you're building this on your own, if you need help, click that gear, come back to the video, click the gear and slow me down so that you can see this close in, if you struggle with it. That's why I'm adding this little bit into the video. It just gives you a little extra content and helps you if you get stuck. So I'm adding this white section now. It has little areas where it shows where to place the eye on the white piece, and that helps you line it up. It goes along the curve of the face and the back of the cheek. So that right there is your finished squirrel. I hope that helps somebody out there. Now you just have to add the arm, and he's all done. So add the little nut in his hands, glue it right on, and he's ready to rumba. So I'm just going to add him there to my project, and we'll just glue this up real quick and have this one done too, guys. So this is that third background that we created when we did the hot foiling, and I thought it would be a cute little scene. I love this little nut house. That's funny. Put little crazy people with it. A little nut house. But I love it. The little acorn house is so cute, and I can just see squirrels just climbing all over it. And if by any chance you have checked out, or if you haven't, make sure to check out Hero Studios today as well. Hero Studios releases their clubs on the same day, and they have squirrels as well. They have ones you can stamp and die cut and color, which would go with that little house up perfectly. Now check this out. That's my favorite card, guys. The one with the pumpkins. But I told you at the beginning, these could be flowers too. So guess what we're doing? We're making them together. So here's our flowers. We're going to just ink up our leaves. And then we're going to stitch a little bit so you can just see the process. Then you'll see this one made twice as well. Then I'll share with you all of the cards I've made here, and you'll get to see that gold one up close at the end. But you get to see all of them, and you can let me know which one is your favorite. Now here for the stitching, I'm going to use a metallic thread on this one. I'm just attaching it to the back with the piece of tape. I'm just getting it started. I'll hold it up here so you can see it, but I'm just getting it started here. But I use a piece of double stick tape. And remember, you can slow me down if you need to. But I go through the top hole on the outside of the flower first and down through the center hole. The outside to the inside, outside to the inside. And I do that. And each section has its own center hole. Then you go around the scallop, and then you start a new scallop. And each time you start a new scallop, you have a new center hole. So just follow the scallops around, and you have a center hole for each. So I did half of it there, and then we'll come back here, and I've already done the yellow one, so I'm morphing you through a little bit, but I'm doing this same exact thing here on the red one, or pink, hot pink, I guess. But it's the same process though. All three of them are the same exact process where you're coming from the outside hole to the inside hole, and you're just going in straight lines. Keep it kind of taut so that it lays flat, and if you see them lay a little uneven, then just run your needle through the lines on top and they will straighten out. Then I always tuck my threads in the back, but this one was extra short, so I put a piece of tape there, and they're ready to glue together. Now my sentiment, I glued 3 of them together just to give some extra depth, and I just used the hello sentiment on this one instead of the secondary sentiment. That secondary sentiment says hello gorgeous. In other words, these are gourds. But I went ahead on this one and just said hello, since we're not doing gourds on this one, we're doing flowers. But I chose 2 different of the foliage pieces from the large die of the month, and I also used a 3D embossing folder here. So that turned out to be really pretty in the background. And I used, these springtime colors, which makes it look completely different than our fall rendition. And I think it turned out really nicely. It's just something different, Just something different. Showing you how to use your projects in more ways, your products in more ways than just the intended way. Now, when I glue these down, I use the regular glue on the bottom one. Then I use a 2D adhesive. I'm sorry, a 1 millimeter adhesive and a 2 millimeter adhesive. And that way my flowers lay at different layers. So I'm first, of course, hooking down the foliage. But here I'm going to get my two different thicknesses of adhesive out and do it that way. Because it allows my white flower to be a little higher than my pink one, and then my yellow one to even be taller than my white one, and it makes them lay beautifully. And I did the same with my pumpkins as well. It just makes them really lay nicely. I love that. And I thought it was looking a little bare there, so I trimmed a leaf and tucked it in there. And we'll glue that there to finish our card. So there we go. I hope you have an amazing day today. Let me know which one of these you like is your favorite. And I will see you guys in the next video. My favorite's the top left, of course.